Welcome back and thank you for staying with All Angles. Now, Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Tourism is making its stance clear on the proposed sponsorship deal between SA-Tourism and English Premiership League side Tottenham Hotspur. The committee says the deal must be scrapped. Committee Chairperson Thandi Mahambe-Hlala joins us on the line now to tell us more. Thank you very much, Chair, for your time here on ENCA. Now, just tell me, have you proposed that the deal be squashed completely?
Yes, Shaba, thank you for having me and also let me greet the listeners. The decision of the Portfolio Committee was very clear to say this deal must stop, it must end, and the money which was allocated for the deal be reprioritized.
And what was your did you give them options on what to reprioritize the money to?
We cited a number of important issues that are engulfing our country today, because in their presentation they made mention of many things which did not make sense to us as to what is this bill going to benefit the South Africans in particular. And then they cited a lot of things, like they want to inspire people in villages and what have you, and bring soccer or football rather, because they said the deal is not about soccer. Something which made us to dispute this deal even more. Because one, if we are bringing an international football club into the country, at least SAFA must be aware. If you don't want to involve SAFA, you must state reasons why you wouldn't want to involve SAFA in such a magnitude project and other departments, because the project itself requires an intergovernmental approach, because there are many sectors and many departments that are supposed to be involved in such a project, even if tourism was to be the leading department or an entity on the matter, and be able to tell us also how is it going to be beneficial to those soccer players that aspire to be international players from our country. And that did not come forth. And we cited the fact that there are people in villages in our country who are currently crossing the river in a locked drum. And for them to access the facilities, be it a medical facility or groceries, buying groceries in town, they must cross a river in a locked drum. So if you are to inspire our villages, you must start there. Because we believe that you must sort your house in order before you could bring visitors in your household. You must make it a point that everything is on par. And those are few issues which we raised, and we said that this Tottenham Hotspur also, it can be that it is the only team that is identified. If there was a pool of 3 or 4 teams and then make a decision based on that, for instance, in our country, we have a legend that made a footprint and raised our flag as a country in the Leeds United and there's even a statue of him there, and that means that he was appreciated there. So why don't you build from that? If you are to sell our country. So those are the things that we have cited, and we concluded that the deal does not make sense for South Africans, let alone the Portfolio Committee that is supposed to hold the executive accountable and also ensure oversight over state entities and the executives, it did not make sense even to us. So that's how we had arrived at that particular decision.
And, Themba Khumalo, I wonder what you made, the acting CEO of SA-Tourism. What did you make of how he addressed South Africans last week?
We, from the onset, we made our point to say the manner in which he spoke and addressed the South Africans, it was as if he speaks to his children or to people who are unable to think for themselves individually. And the arrogance that was displayed by him when he was presenting this matter, and the gestures were distasteful to us as we were seated in the comfort of our homes watching the interview when he was responding on this matter. And he made bold statements in a very insensitive statements, like, if I may quote him, that he said the money for tourism has nothing to do with a country riddled with potholes, electricity, water. It's not their problem. That was a shocking statement for us, and we made those points. And subsequently to that, when he was given a platform to present, he started by apologizing to South Africans, and we accepted that apology because it appeared to be sincere and professional.
And the Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, I understand, was also late for the meeting. You are quoted as the chairperson to have said that she's disrespected the portfolio committee for quite some time now. Is this true? Was this your sentiment yesterday?
The minister had submitted the apology to say she was attending cabinet committee and arrived in the meeting at the tail end of the portfolio committee. The challenges have been there. The minister has not been attending or appearing before the portfolio committee on a number of issues where she was supposed to present herself an account on. Such that as a portfolio committee, we solicited concurrence from the Speaker to summon her officially to the portfolio committee, which she never honored even that particular summon. Instead, what she did was to send a senior counsel to represent her in the portfolio committee, which was an anomaly in the history of Parliament. It has never happened. It was for the first time. But as a portfolio committee, we decided to halt all that so that we are able to focus on the issue at hand, which created uncertainty to the country and South Africans in particular, which was an issue of national importance. So as Parliament, we had to focus on that and put everything else on our minds. But there are still those outstanding issues that the portfolio committee will have to iron out with the minister so that we are able to move in unison in ensuring that we serve the country as a collective.
Just lastly, that's very concerning, Ms. Mambehlala, when you say that this was not the first time that you had issues, etc. Parliament has oversight over governance in our country, over people who are in such offices or in such high positions, such as the minister. And this is something that was also raised in the state capture report. I don't want to embroil you in that necessarily, but the state capture report, one of the volumes, Chief Justice Raymond Zondo said that his concern is that Parliament doesn't, practice its oversight role. So is it, Parliament not exercising its oversight role, or is it people such as ministers just disrespecting portfolio committees as a whole, just willy-nilly?
Reason why we had solicited the concurrence from the Speaker to summon the minister to the portfolio committee was for us to ensure that we enforce this oversight role and also exhaust all the mechanisms and everything else within our powers as Parliament to ensure that oversight is not undermined by anyone. We are still there, and we are committed in ensuring that we practice our oversight role as parliamentarians and as legislators. We will still to pursue that avenue. It's not something that we have decided to sweep under the carpet, but we put it on hold based on the fact that there was this hullabaloo that bothered the country and South Africans. So we had to prioritize it and put it on top of the program of the portfolio committee, which was approved. We had to start here, and we are going to ensure that we enforce oversight and accountability, because that is our responsibility as the people that are entrusted by that responsibility by South Africans.